I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I got a bad feeling about these next 5 games. I hope we don't go 0-5. I think there's some winnable ones in there. Before we do that, let's look at some off-season stuff. Paul Millsap on the Sixers. I weirdly like that fit, actually. And Dennis Smith as well. I guess he's their point guard of the future. Lowry Markkanen next to Karl Anthony Towns. I actually like those two together a lot. Rudy Gay got the shaft and then some by signing with the Brooklyn Nets. Sorry, Rudy. And Josh Jackson and Justice Winslow are the wing pieces for the Heat. That seems kinda interesting. Hopefully this doesn't go really poorly. Alfred Payton can walk, that's a good thing. We lost to the Brooklyn Nets. And I actually want to scout some centers because our current ones are eh. And we actually went 2-3 in that stretch. I don't think that's terrible. Offensively, we can't buy a basket to save our life, so we might need to make some changes moving forward. And we're not that good on defense either, so that's cool. And if we look at our offensive performance right now, Jason Tatum's the top dude at only 15 points. And even if he can't hit a 3 right now, I do still like where he is right now for us. And if we look at this game against the Nets, 26 points, man. He's had multiple 20-plus point performances already, so even if he's not doing it every single game, he has shown by now that the size, the mid-range jumper ability, and just how he can score inside, he's making the impact on the team right away. He's already our leading scorer. Now, the fact that our leading scorer is only averaging 15 points a game, that's a whole other problem in and of itself, but it's a good sign where Tatum's at. And the thing I like the most about him is because of his size, he's just so versatile. You know, he can set a screen himself and then roll to the rim, but he's also a good ball handler, so he can create his own shot, or he can play in the pick and roll himself. The jumper isn't there just yet, but it'll get there. Well, the 3-point jumper, I should say. And then in a game like this, 15 points, nothing crazy, but just a nice, solid, efficient performance. And I think that's the big one. It's like, he's not just putting up 25 points and then 5 points. It's like, he either has the big performance or he has just a nice, efficient performance, which shows, yeah, he's probably going to be a really legit scorer. I mean, he's shooting 50% from the field. And if we look at his shot chart, he's shooting very well at the rim, over league average, over 60%. I mean, pretty decent from everywhere. Just that 3-pointer needs to develop, and he's only, 19 or 20 years old. Now, if we look at Aaron Gordon, 10 points, 7 rebounds, 3.5 assists. But he's having some performances that I'm really intrigued by. 11 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists against the 76ers. That's the kind of point total I'm really expecting from him because, like I said before, we want to get him in the pick and roll, attacking the rim. He's grabbing the rebounds, which is really good. And he and Vucevic and Biyombo is a pretty strong rebounding trio. I don't think it's the perfect fit offensively or defensively because of the centers, but I guess it's a thing to be happy about. I don't know, we're still not very good on either side of the floor, but I mean, I'm trying to be positive. So the rebounding is there, and I do expect his assist numbers to creep up. I mean, 3.5 is already pretty decent. Another one here against the Raptors, 11 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. He wasn't super efficient, if I saw that correctly, but, I'm not expecting his offensive game to take off right now. I kind of just want to work on, the ball handling, the passing, finishing at the rim, and then I guess we could start working on the jumper, next season or something like that. I think it would be better to focus on individual things rather than trying to make the guy explode just in one moment. Another strong performance here against the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is what I'm talking about with Gordon, that athleticism surrounded by the type of game that can just kick out to shooters in the post so we can run action off of that, or just having him go into the rim and taking advantage of help defense. Now we can talk about Alfred Payton, who started the season off pretty hot. 12 points and 8 assists. I mean, I like the assists, and this is kind of the performance I would expect from him right now. Kind of a Rajon Rondo-esque sort of thing where, 13 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, kind of contributes in all areas, but if there is not another strong offensive option next to him, then his value just kind of decreases because he's never going to really kill teams with his scoring, at least not right now. If we can develop the jumper to at least being respectable, then that's a different story. But his playmaking has been pretty legit. I mean, 8 assists on the season would be his best year by far. But then this game here, I mean, the production isn't terrible, but the efficiency is god-awful. 3 for 12 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3. that's just kind of the player Alfred Payton is right now. Like, he's just not a natural scorer, and if he's forced to shoot the ball more often, then it could just not go well. Some other things we can look at. I like Terrence Ross's scoring off the bench right now at around 11 points a game. His three-pointers are not exactly falling in, but, I mean, I think he's still doing a nice job overall. Evan Fournier can't make a damn shot to save his life unless it's a three-pointer. That could be pretty bad if it maintains itself. And Biyombo is a rebounding monster off the bench at around 8 per game. And he's had some pretty decent performances with his rebounding as well as his shot blocking. I don't know, maybe we start Vucevic but play he and Biyombo basically the same amount of minutes because the defense is weak and I think he would help that. But here's what I'm really excited about. Mario Hezonia. 6 points a game, playing 10 minutes a game. Not too crazy. Look at these percentages. 53 from the field, 57 from 3. The dude can't miss to save his life right now. And if you look at this game against the Nets, he had 11 points, 2 for 3 from outside. I said Hezonia was going to have to grow and really get better throughout the season to get more minutes. Seems he's doing it right now, man. I'm ready to give him a few more minutes a game and see if he can maintain this. I'm liking where his direction is going right now. Now, how did we lose some of these games? Well, Dennis Smith went off for one against the Sixers. I mean, this is just a thing that's going to happen when you're not a very good defensive team, is some guys are going to go off on you, and we may have to make some moves in the future to change this sort of thing. I think we're really not benefiting from having like a true lockdown defensive player on the perimeter, which I'm not going to make some crazy trade and get one right now, but I do think it's a thing we can notice because the Sixers, they hit quite a few three-pointers on us, and the same thing can be said with our loss to the Brooklyn Nets. Well, for one, Brook Lopez just feasted on Vucevic down low, which is not a good sign. Yeah, I mean, Vucevic, it's a thing, and we're going to come to a decision on that at some point, if someone would be willing to take him on. But Karis LeVert, for example, shooting guard who shows some good potential, but we really don't have a perimeter guy who can really lock him down, so he's going to go off. And Rudy Gay was able to have a nice performance as well. I mean, yeah, the defense is going to be a thing with Tatum. And then DeMar DeRozan just went bananas with 30 points against us. So, it would be good if down the road we could get a shooting guard who shows a lot of real defensive potential because, of course, Evan Fournier is not that guy right now. So, I mean, that'll be a thing that we're looking towards in the future. But honestly, the fact that we're only 2 games under 500 right now and Aaron Gordon as well as Jason Tatum and Hezonia are looking good, I think we're in a good place, I don't expect to make the playoffs this season, but if we're progressing and our guys aren't terrible, I'd say that's good.